Hey, everybody. I am so here. I'm Rita Hickman, mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and I specialize in helping men who are in toxic and narcissistic relationships. I give them information. I help them understand how their body works. I give them support so they don't have to do it alone. We get tips on mental health, on stress management. I focus a lot on Asian medicine, or at least the principles of Asian medicine, because it's been around for a really long time, and it's extremely wise in guiding us to health. So today we're going to be talking about narcissism and mental health. So one of the challenges in our society today is the stress level is really ramped up, and the self-care has gotten worse and worse. And you've noticed it in our media, on social media, politics, in our community. You've probably really seen people who are behaving in ways which are extremely narcissistic. And that's because the basis of is because you personally did something wrong as the victim, but rather narcissism is a mental health disorder. It has to do with a chemical it has to do with how all in order to create someone who narcissism is really a spectrum. We're going to talk about clinical. That's narcissism are things like borderline personality, bipolar. They're actual things which are mental health disorders which cause people to behave in a very protective, angry, aggressive sort of way because they are protecting themselves at all costs from is the enemy. When they're under stress, everybody is the enemy. Now, it's true for all of us, actually, and we're struggling with something. We tend to see the world through a more high levels of stress included. And when we're in those positions, we end up behaving in a way that's very protective, self-protective. You know, I had some military friends who would always say, you know, you don't know what you're going to do until you're actually in the situation. So it's hard to place your own opinions or points of view onto somebody else because you really aren't living their life. And so people who are dealing with more narcissism than others, usually they're dealing with more internal struggles than others. And they use lots of energy in order to maintain. And then in more relaxed moments or their more stressed moments, that's when they deal with or express emotions that they've been out aggressive way. So it's like they wait too long. It's like their natural pattern is to allow things to build up, and then before they know it, they've blown their top again. And usually in extremely inappropriate ways. And then on the other side comes the love bombing in order to try to make things up. And it's a cycle pattern that happens over and over. Now, the mistake that most people make is when they're in relationships, the real issue is that their problems, their mental health issues, are bigger than you will be able to solve. You know, the thing about a narcissist is that they pull out of you your wounds. They pull out of you the things you react to. You know, your own insecurities, your own reasons. If you're up for it, you can survive it. That's benefits because it really motivates you to look at your stuff to get your help. You know, when people get into 12-step programs, usually someone gets into AA and the family gets into Al-Anon or CODA or Overeaters Anonymous. So when people are struggling with narcissism and mental health issues, a lot of it is very complicated for them. It's very complex. And they need a whole team of people to help them navigate this. You are not enough. You'll never be enough. And then you decide you need a whole team to help navigate it as well. You know, when two people want to move forward, there's absolutely possibility and opens and you're able to start figuring out how things work and get empathy and understanding. But if, you know, you're doing it alone, then you're going to, if you're doing it because you think it's a big secret, people will understand. Trust me, this day and age, people are starting to understand. And when you use a little bit of discernment, a little bit of, you know, making sure that the person you're talking to is supportive for you before you express everything that's going on with you, you'll have a better shot, because most people are dealing with high level of internal stress, narcissistic, because just like you do, we all have that spectrum. Now, the more narcissistic to the and the emotional abuse, behavior, health issues, you have to look at it as in you have a lot of struggles, and you are not qualified with your emotional issues alone, and you've probably a long time, even decades, thinking that you needed to change, to try to adapt, adjust, to make things better, to make things smoother, to to be perfect, to fight back for yourself. And all those things are great. They're great skills and tools to have that stuff come up so you can let them go. Because overall, at the end of the day, when you work it, when you grow and evolve and learn and get the support that you need and the habits in place, you become so much happier and so much more balanced. You have to realize that the narcissist in your life, if they're not getting the same help, doing the same sorts of things in place, then their pattern is going to continue, because it's not about you. You thought it was about you because of all of your own stuff that came up, but it was never about you. It was always about the narcissist and their mental health issue, and whether they've been able to manage it or not, and the coping strategies that they use. And one of the coping strategies that they use is to be completely toxic, in certain relationships, so that they can be the nice person or the supportive person or the one that everybody likes out in the rest of the world. It's kind of balance. Asian medicine is always about balance. We're always in balance. No matter what happens in our life, we're always finding a way to balance it out. So as dramatic as we are in one direction is as dramatic as we're going to be in the other direction. So it's important for you to realize that the narcissist behavior is usually based on and mental health and suppressed trauma and chemical imbalances and lack of. It's overwhelming. For you to think that you can solve it or even help a lot on your own is setting yourself up to feel like a giant failure, because this problem that's growing in the world is so much bigger than individual relationships or individual people. So if you're still stuck in the wondering, why do they do this to me? Why me? Why is this going on? It's because they need support, and you need support, which you'll be able to show to the relationship in a way that's patient and understanding, because you no longer have your in the way, and you're developing good skills in order to manage your stress so you don't behave in a narcissistic way. Now, the narcissist, maybe not, they'll do, maybe not, they'll take your role model. Maybe as they get older, they'll mellow out and learn better skills. You really don't know. All you can do is work on you, get the support that you need, and let other people, like the narcissist, be in charge of their own life. They are responsible for how they feel at the end of the day. And you get to determine how you're going to interact with that. You get to determine how close or how far away you are. How perfect you are, or wonderful, or nice, or smart, or amazing, or fantastic you are in any moment is not why they're behaving the way that they are. They're behaving that way because that's the only way that they know. That's the way that always works. And when they're in that part of that brain, that fight overwhelmed by stress, then they're going to be lashing out at everybody, everything. Usually for a while, because it can take them a while to get over or through their moods or emotions, okay? So if you're thinking that this is a small issue and it's all about you, you're wrong. It is about you in that it's important for you to use it as motivation to work on being happier and finding a life that you really love. That's there to motivate you to do, and maybe have compassion for other people who are dealing. And then the person who's dealing with mental health, your narcissist, if they choose not to get help, that really is on them. And then you need to decide for yourself how close or how far away you are in that relationship. You get to choose. And if you're not in a position to choose right now, things in you have the ability to choose. You start finding the ways that you can heal yourself so that You don't have to feel trapped in a relationship, okay? Because you shouldn't feel trapped. It's not right to feel trapped. And even if you never leave, even if you stay until their last dying breath, and I know many women who have, what happens because you feel you've given yourself a voice and a choice, because you are getting the things that you need, it helps you feel stable and calm, even in the eye of the storm of being friends or married to or family to people who are really struggling with their own mental health issues. It doesn't mean that you oh, poor baby, because that's not going to help anybody at all. It'll just set you up to be a victim. But when you get healthy, when you get support, start thinking in new ways, when you get your body healthy, when you figure out how you work, your face changes, and you change, and your relationship changes, because you are different than you were before. And all relationships are two or more people. It's a dynamic. It's a push and pull. And so when one changes, the has to change. It's just the way that it works. And so you get to decide how you want to handle this. It's a process. If you're tired of doing this by yourself, if you want somebody who can help you along the way, if you need some support because you just feel overwhelmed and tired and trapped, reach out. We'll set something up. I have programs, small group coaching programs, one-on-one coaching, where I've got information out there, meditations, all sorts of stuff. This is you. This is much bigger than you. So stop blaming yourself, and stop letting the narcissist blame you, because they're acting out of anger and fear and self-protection, and are unable to be the person that you need them to be when it's attack. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later.